Yo, what's up YouTube? Jay Travellini here, and today I've got my 8x GPU mining rig. Now the cards that I have on it, you can see I have a 1660 Ti, 3 2060s, and 4 1660 Supers. 6 cards are EVGA, and then 2 Asus tough 1660 Supers on an Octominer B8 Plus motherboard. Now, this is my first riserless motherboard. Buddy of mine, Ace, talked me into getting it, and then another guy I talked to, MC, talked me into this frame, which I did have to modify to get this to work. So the motherboard's not actually screwed down. It's supported by the GPUs being screwed down, and then I have a piece of cardboard under it because there was not enough space for the risers or the standoffs, I mean. Now, one thing that I did have to do in the front here is for all the GPU tabs, I did take an angle grinder and I cut right along here for pretty much to get the tabs through the frame so that they could sit in here. And then what I did was I actually drilled these holes and custom drilled them. I used my GPUs up here that are busted just as a template. I put them on the board on each side, drilled the holes, and then I mounted one and then just went through and drilled the holes, and it worked out perfectly. The only thing I don't like is it's not through the middle to support it. It's on the end tab, which usually slides in out, but they're so tight that these cards aren't going to go anywhere. Then in the back, this actually, as you see in the picture, I mean, this frame was like a $60 frame on Amazon. This sat a lot higher, and then it had a bar across it. Now, these originally went to it, and what this would do is this would mount this way, and then the other one would be on this side, and then this would go across the top, pretty much where these GPUs are, and this is what the GPUs would sit on, so that actually sit higher on the motherboard, and you would use risers. But obviously, I'm not using risers, so this is how I did it. So I chopped these with my angle grinder just high enough so that I could fit the fans in it. I could still fit the fans in it, and I got the wiring to the motherboard ran underneath the fans to the power supply. Now, this power supply is an 1100 watt Dell server power supply that I picked up for like $9 a while back. And then the breakout boards from Parallel Miner, it's I think they're X12 breakout board. And then I have all the cabling that I got from Parallel Miner also ran to it. Now, you can see it mining in the background here. It's been up and running for a little over a day, so it is pretty stable. One thing that I did not know that someone had to tell me is the Hynix memory. GPUs use negative overclocks on HiveOS. So I did have the negative 1004 on the memory on just my 2 Hynix ones. Now, there is a BIOS mod going around for, I believe, the Hynix memory 1660 Supers that they're getting 37 mega hash, 36 to 37 mega hash, where mine are pulling 31 to 32 roughly. But I don't know if I'm going to go down the path of BIOS modding them yet. I do have 2 Hynix ones, a Micron one and a Samsung memory 1660 Super. So I might just leave them how they are because it is stable, and I hate taking a stable rig and messing with it more. I usually end up breaking stuff then, as you guys seen in the past. But eventually what I want to do with this rig is get it into my tent, get my P106s out of my tent, and actually sell them just so I can keep buying more efficient GPUs, maybe sell the 6 of those and upgrade them to maybe 6600s or 6600 XTs. I'm not sure yet. But the other thing with this is how close these GPUs sit together. And I did luck out that I used smaller GPUs like the 2060s and 1660 Supers and the Ti, because the fans sit pretty close to them. But see, with how close they are, I have the fans that I picked up on AliExpress that are 3000 RPM fans that are blowing 150 CFM across them. So my temps, if you can see them here, none of them go over, the hottest one's 57 degrees Celsius. So temperature wise, they're not too bad. Now I could bring that down. I have all the fans set to 70%. I could probably up it a little bit more or put a more powerful fan on it, but 3000 RPM ones seem to be working. Now, I am pretty happy with how this turned out. I'm not sure if I'm going to go down the path of doing another one just because of how much space we have like lengthwise for the GPUs. My 30 series would never work on this frame. Now, it's possible that I may be able to modify a Veta frame to work similarly, but I'm not really going to go down that path just yet. That'll be a lot of drilling because that aluminum is a lot tougher than what this one is. I have a Veta frame like underneath here with my 30 series cards, and they fit on it. And if I put 3K fans behind it, it may work, but 3080s and 3090s run pretty hot, so that would be tough to put onto this frame. But I just wanted to show you guys this rig, and it's mining. It's doing, let's see, the power in the miners 587 for this rig, but in HiveOS it's reporting 640, so it may be reporting the board too in that. I'm not sure. I know with the Octominer board it's possible that's reporting it because it's definitely different. I just noticed that just now that the power draw is different inside this miner than it was on HiveOS when I checked it out, but it's still going pretty good. I mean, it's definitely I think it's like a 250 mega hash rig or something, 260. So there it is, 254 mega hash total. So 8 GPUs, pretty good, it's pretty efficient. I'm pretty happy with this rig. I just want to get it into my tent. Now, one last thing that I want to do just for this project that I didn't do yet, and the reason I didn't do it is because my table saw is buried right now, is I want to cut a piece of plywood to go down here and just go to length, because this is just sitting on a piece of wood, but I want to get on plywood that's connected to this, so when I pick it up, it all comes up as once. And then I can cut slits in it and then zip tie this down to hold it more securely. Other than that, I mean, I'm pretty good. The cabling management, I mean, it's okay. I was going to zip tie it down to this, but I'm just going to leave it like just like this. It's not bad. It does arc a little bit, but you know, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty happy with this motherboard now. Most of these cards I got at MSRP. I mean, they all got at MSRP, and a couple I got from EVJB stock. I don't have the full pricing on it. I'll go through and look at all and do another video on pricing, the ROI, and if it's going to ROI before Ethereum even goes proof of work or proof of stake, I mean. And then this Octominer motherboard I picked up on eBay for $250. Then I bought an M-SATA on it for another $17, $18. So I mean, I'm a little invested into the rig, but I think it's going to be going well. It's going to pretty much do a lot of mining for me in the near future. Now that this is built though, I plan on organizing my basement a little bit, shuffling some rigs around. I have frames on the ground. I'm going to get some rigs. I might take some rigs off the custom made shelving that are frames and put them onto my Sluice V2 style frames, such as this one. I'm working on designing a 3D print to stack this Sluice V2 frame. So once that's up and going, I'll either do a YouTube short on it or do a full video on it on stacking them. I'm trying to do it more securely and measure it so I can get a second grow tent like this one here and get probably 4 rigs into it. This one has 20 graphics cards in it right now, and it does pretty well. But you know, I just wanted to show you guys this rig, show you guys the customization on it, to show you that if you do have this board with cards that are short like this, if you have 30 series cards, obviously this kind of build isn't going to work for you. But if you're running 1660 Supers and 2060s, things along those lines that are shorter, and you have an Octominer board but you don't have a case for it, this works and will get it to you. Just take some customization. Like this bar I didn't cut. This one I cut the leg shorter, and this one I just cut the slot down and then cut a piece of cardboard under it. But you know, thanks for checking this video out. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for more.